Warsaw, 1941. The streets were narrow, lined with brick buildings, pocked from neglect and the early signs of war preparations. Smoke drifted from chimneys, mingling with the stench of fear and despair that hung heavy over the Warsaw Ghetto. Inside the cramped, suffocating streets, thousands of people struggled to survive, their bellies gnawed by hunger, their hearts tightened by the constant presence of danger and oppression. 12-year-old Anna Stupnicka clutched her mother's hand tightly as they approached the heavily guarded gates, feeling the cold metal of the railings press against her small palm. She had seen the fear in the eyes of those around her, the silent resignation in the posture of adults who once had hope. And yet in Anna's heart, an unshakable resolve had begun to burn. Today, she would risk everything to help someone she had never met, a young girl trapped within the maze of barbed wire, stone, and despair. Her small hands held tightly onto a bundle of clothes, carefully chosen to hide the identity of the girl, and a set of forged papers that could mean the difference between life and death. Every step was a silent prayer, every breath a battle against the instinct to turn back. The girl she was to save, 11-year-old Liliana Alter, waited nervously in a shadowed alleyway. Her eyes, wide with terror, scanned the empty street, flicking to every corner, as though expecting the walls themselves to leap to life. Anna knelt beside her, adjusting the hood over Liliana's head with a gentle, precise touch, careful to hide the dark strands of hair that could betray her identity to any passing soldier or informant. The papers in Anna's satchel were folded neatly, their edges crisp, the ink on them still fresh and slightly pungent with the scent of the official seals and stamps. Each sheet represented more than bureaucracy. It was a lifeline, a fragile bridge between survival and annihilation. Anna's mother whispered final instructions in a low, urgent voice, outlining the safest route to the waiting safe house, where neighbors and trusted friends would shelter Liliana until it was safe to move her further, deeper into the network of clandestine protection that wove like threads through the ghetto. Anna's heart thudded violently, each beat a reminder of the stakes, yet she did not falter. She had memorized the routines of the guards, the timing of patrols, and the gaps in their attention, all small weaknesses that she could exploit. She understood that a single misstep could cost not only her life, but the life of the girl she was determined to protect. As they began to move, every shadow seemed to twitch with menace, every creaking door or distant cough a potential threat. The cobblestones beneath their feet were slick with mud and the remnants of the morning rain, making every step a delicate calculation. Anna's small frame allowed her to slip through narrow passageways where no adult could have fit unnoticed, and she used this to her advantage, keeping close to the walls, ducking behind carts, and pausing whenever a distant soldier's boots echoed too clearly in the alleyways. Liliana's hand gripped hers tightly, trembling with fear, and Anna whispered reassuring words, soft but firm, reminding her that they would reach safety. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her, heavier than any satchel or bundle she had ever carried. But it was a weight she bore willingly. Each second stretched into eternity as they inched past the guard's line of sight, every movement executed with care, precision, and the quiet determination of someone who knew that courage was not the absence of fear, but the strength to act despite it. The sounds of the ghetto surrounded them, faint sobs from a distant alley, the muffled cries of children hidden inside crumbling buildings, and the distant murmur of German soldiers discussing patrols and quotas. Anna's mind raced with contingencies, If a patrol turned a corner too soon, if a guard glanced too long in their direction, she would have to act quickly, using any cover or distraction available. She recalled lessons from her mother, small pieces of knowledge accumulated over months of careful observation. A dropped crate could mask a footstep. A sudden cough could provide a cover. A strategically timed pause could make them invisible. Every step, every whispered instruction, every glance over the shoulder was a choice that balanced life and death. And yet, as they moved, Anna felt a strange steadiness, a quiet strength that seemed to anchor them both. She became more than just a child. She was a guardian, a guide, a beacon of hope, in a place where hope was nearly extinguished. Finally, after what felt like hours compressed into minutes, they approached the outer walls of the safe house. Anna's legs were trembling from exertion and nerves, her fingers numb from clutching the papers and Liliana's hands so tightly. Yet, relief washed over her as she recognized the familiar doorway, the discreet signal posted by neighbors who had been briefed and prepared for their arrival. She guided Liliana inside, carefully handing over the precious documents, and explained the next steps in hushed tones, ensuring the girl would know what to do if discovery threatened. Her mother's eyes met hers, pride and worry mingling in a silent exchange that spoke volumes. For this moment, they had succeeded. One life had been preserved, one small thread of humanity maintained against the crushing tide of oppression. Anna's courage, intelligence, and determination had carried them through danger, and though the battle was far from over, this mission had been a victory. Anna led Liliana through the labyrinth of back streets and narrow passages, each corner a potential trap, each shadow a possible observer. The patrols were relentless, their eyes sharp and alert, their boots pounding like distant thunder against the cobblestones, a constant reminder of the danger that lurked behind every wall. Anna's small frame allowed her to slip through gaps that adults could never have navigated, moving silently like a shadow slipping among shadows. She crouched low, timing her steps to coincide with the echoes of distant soldiers, pressing Liliana close to her side, whispering instructions in low, calm tones that carried both authority and reassurance. Every creak of a floorboard beneath their feet, every sudden clatter of a discarded tin or trash can, sent a jolt of fear through her chest. But Anna's determination did not waver. She understood, in a way that belied her 12 years, that courage was not the absence of fear. It was the quiet refusal to let fear dictate one's actions. The city around them seemed alive with tension. Windows rattled in their frames, as if trembling in anticipation, and even the faintest sound of a child's cry in the distance made Anna's pulse quicken. She navigated the streets with a precision born of necessity, memorizing every building, every alley, every narrow passage where they might find cover or an alternative route. Liliana's small hand gripped hers, trembling with both cold and anxiety, and Anna kept her voice steady, whispering encouragement, reminding her to breathe slowly, to keep her head down, to trust that they would reach safety. Each moment stretched endlessly, each second pregnant with risk. But Anna's resolve anchored them both, a silent shield against the ever-present threat of capture. Hours seemed to pass in the span of minutes as they wound through the shadowed city. Anna's fingers grew numb from clutching the forged papers and Liliana's hand, and her legs ached from crouching, ducking, and sprinting as needed. She calculated every step with meticulous care, adjusting her pace to avoid detection, listening intently for the faintest sounds that might betray their presence. The shadows became her allies, the walls her shields, and the rhythm of her own heartbeat a metronome that kept them moving steadily forward. Despite the tension, There was a strange exhilaration in knowing that her actions could change the course of a young life, that her courage, intelligence, and quick thinking might allow Liliana to survive when so many others did not. Finally, the outline of the first safe house emerged from the darkness, a modest doorway partially obscured by crates and refuse. Anna's heart leapt, but she remained vigilant, ensuring that no prying eyes or wandering patrols had discovered their presence. The neighbors inside greeted them quietly, ushering them in with a mixture of urgency and care, providing warmth, food, and a temporary sense of security. Anna carefully handed over the forged documents, explaining the next steps in hushed tones, outlining routes and safe contacts, while ensuring Liliana understood what to do if anyone tried to question her identity. Her mother's eyes met hers across the room, a mixture of pride, relief, and lingering concern that spoke volumes without a word. For this moment, the immediate danger had passed. Yet, Anna knew that the journey was far from over. Liliana would still need to be moved further, hidden from prying eyes and from the relentless machinery of oppression that had tightened around the ghetto like a noose. But for now, the girl was alive, and Anna had succeeded in her mission. She had acted with the precision and composure of someone far older, guided by intuition, careful planning, and lessons imparted by her mother. Her courage had defied her age, transforming a 12-year-old girl into a guardian, a protector, and a beacon of hope amid the darkness that surrounded them. In that small, dimly lit room, with the faint scent of bread and smoke filling the air, Anna felt a quiet satisfaction. She had faced fear, navigated danger, and emerged victorious, at least for this moment. The shadows of Warsaw were still alive with peril, but within the walls of this safe house, there was a fragile, hard-won sense of triumph. Word of Anna's deeds began to spread quietly through the hidden networks of Warsaw, whispered among neighbors, resistance members, and those who risked everything to protect the vulnerable. Though only 12 years old, Anna had already become a symbol of hope, a living example of courage that could flourish even in the darkest corners of the city. She became an indispensable part of a fragile network that smuggled children, food, medicine, and information across the deadly streets of occupied Warsaw. Every delivery, every step outside the safety of hidden apartments carried the weight of immense risk. An arrest could mean brutal punishment or worse for both Anna and the children she helped protect. Yet her small size, nimble movements, and quick thinking allowed her to slip past vigilant guards, duck through narrow alleys, and exploit forgotten passageways, moving like a ghost between the watchful eyes of the enemy. She learned the rhythm of the city under occupation, the timing of patrols, the spacing of guards, the way shadows fell across streets, the subtle signs of danger, transforming fear into a calculated awareness that guided each action she took. Carrying the responsibility of another life on her small shoulders was no small task, but Anna bore it with astonishing determination, showing wisdom far beyond her years. As the months passed, Anna's confidence grew alongside the stakes of her missions. She became increasingly adept at transporting children from the ghetto to hidden apartments, often disguising them as orphans, cousins, or neighbors. She memorized names, addresses, and schedules with extraordinary precision, turning her memory into a vital tool for survival. Each successful mission strengthened the fragile web of resistance and inspired those around her. Even adult members of the underground marveled at the bravery of this 12-year-old girl who navigated deadly streets unseen, yet carried the immense responsibility of safeguarding lives that could otherwise have been lost. Her courage became a beacon, instilling hope in those who felt crushed by fear, demonstrating that heroism could emerge in the youngest and most unexpected forms. The city itself seemed to pulse around her, a living entity of danger and opportunity. Anna's senses were constantly alert. The clang of a distant gate, the shuffle of a soldier's boots, even the faintest whisper of voices across a courtyard could signify immediate peril. She learned to blend into the urban landscape, to anticipate the movements of others, and to make split-second decisions that could save or endanger lives. Every successful trip, every child delivered to safety, became a testament to the possibility of resistance and humanity in a place dominated by oppression. Her reputation grew quietly but steadily, spreading through whispers and subtle nods, a story of a small girl whose courage reshaped the lives of those around her. Despite her age, Anna carried herself with a maturity forged in the fires of necessity. The weight of responsibility never left her. She knew that mistakes could be fatal, that hesitation could spell doom. Yet she refused to succumb to fear, instead allowing it to sharpen her focus and discipline. Each mission was meticulously planned, each step carefully executed. She kept detailed mental maps of routes, hideouts, and safe contacts, constantly revising them as conditions changed, always staying one step ahead of the patrolling soldiers and informants. Through her actions, she became a vital link in the chain of resistance, proving that courage, intelligence, and compassion could thrive even in the face of unimaginable adversity. Her acts of bravery inspired those around her, creating a ripple effect that extended far beyond her immediate circle. Adults and children alike began to recognize the possibility of resistance, the notion that even the smallest, most seemingly powerless individuals could make a profound difference. Anna's courage reminded them that fear could be met with defiance, that oppression could be challenged with careful planning and moral conviction. In a city dominated by terror, she became a quiet force of change, a living testament to the power of one determined heart. Through her unwavering resolve, she demonstrated that heroism was not measured by age or strength, but by the willingness to act when the stakes were highest, and to protect the lives of others, even when doing so meant risking one's own. The tension of life under occupation never relented, pressing down on every street, alley, and doorway like a heavy, invisible hand. For Anna, each day brought new challenges and dangers. She quickly learned how to navigate checkpoints with precision, how to speak without hesitation when questioned by guards, and how to conceal fear behind a calm and composed expression. Every patrol passing by, every watchful officer scrutinizing the streets, was a test of her wit and courage. Once, when a German patrol paused unexpectedly near a narrow alley, Anna felt her heart leap into her throat. The soldiers' boots echoed loudly against the cobblestones, their eyes sharp and probing. She drew a steadying breath, lifted her chin, and explained in perfect Polish that she was running an errand for her mother. The officer's gaze lingered, suspicious and searching for any sign of deceit, but ultimately he waved them on, unaware of the gravity of what she carried. Each encounter honed Anna's instincts, sharpening her awareness of subtle threats, teaching her to anticipate danger and strengthening her resolve. She became remarkably adept at reading human behavior, predicting the movements of soldiers, and taking swift, intelligent actions to protect those who depended on her. By the end of 1941, Anna had participated in multiple rescues, each more daring than the last. She had successfully ensured that numerous children and vulnerable individuals were removed from the confines of the ghetto, hidden safely in neighboring homes, and provided with false papers that allowed them to survive in a world that had declared their lives expendable. The weight of these responsibilities rested heavily on her small shoulders, yet she bore it with astonishing composure and courage. Every mission demanded careful planning, patience, and nerves of steel. She memorized names, addresses, patrol schedules, and the locations of hidden allies, allowing her to move through the city with confidence and precision. Her bravery did not go unnoticed. Neighbors whispered her name with admiration, friends relied on her ingenuity, and members of the resistance marveled at her unwavering dedication. 12 years old, yet already she had become an emblem of hope and courage in a city shrouded in fear. Anna's actions rippled far beyond the immediate rescues she conducted. Each successful mission reinforced the understanding that heroism could emerge in the most unexpected forms and from the most unlikely individuals. Her courage inspired others, demonstrating that even a child, guided by a strong moral compass and love for her fellow human beings, could alter the course of events in a city consumed by terror. Those who witnessed her deeds, neighbors, parents, and resistance fighters alike, were reminded that acts of bravery were not always loud or grandiose. Sometimes they were quiet, precise, and carried out with unwavering determination. Every life Anna helped save became a testament to the power of compassion, courage, and unwavering moral conviction. The city itself seemed to pulse with danger and urgency, yet Anna moved through it with remarkable skill and resilience. She learned to identify the subtle signs of an approaching patrol, the faint echo of boots against stone, the shift of shadows in narrow alleys, the sudden hush of people in windows. She adjusted her movements accordingly, pausing when necessary, running when opportunity allowed, and always maintaining the delicate balance between caution and determination. With each successful mission, she gained not only practical knowledge, but also an unshakable sense of purpose. She came to understand that her actions, though small in scale, held the potential to save lives, to foster hope, and to challenge the overwhelming forces of oppression that surrounded her. In the end, Anna's courage and ingenuity became part of a larger story of resilience and resistance in Warsaw. She demonstrated that age was no barrier to heroism, and that even in the most perilous circumstances, a child could carry hope and courage like a torch through the darkness. Each rescued life, each narrow escape, and each act of careful planning contributed to a quiet, powerful rebellion against the machinery of fear that dominated the city. Anna Stupnica, though only 12, had become a guardian, a protector, and a symbol of what it meant to act with integrity and bravery, showing the world that even the smallest hands could shape the course of history. After the war, the story of Anna Stupnica's bravery became an integral part of the larger narrative of resistance in Warsaw, a city that had endured unspeakable horrors and the relentless oppression of occupation. The acts of a 12-year-old girl who had navigated fear, danger, and cruelty with remarkable courage and intelligence were not forgotten. Anna went on to live a life dedicated to helping others, continuing the legacy of courage, moral action, and compassion that she had begun during the darkest days of the war. She worked tirelessly to support those in need, to educate younger generations about the importance of ethical responsibility, and to honor the memory of the countless lives lost. Her commitment to others was not motivated by recognition or reward, but by an innate sense of justice and empathy that had driven her even as a child. Recognized as a righteous among the nations for her extraordinary bravery and selflessness, Anna Stupnica Bando's story stands as a testament to the power of youth, bravery, and compassion in the darkest of times. The recognition highlighted not only her courage during the war, but also the profound moral clarity with which she acted. Even at 12, she understood the value of a single human life and the importance of standing against oppression. This understanding shaped the rest of her life, guiding her decisions and actions long after the war had ended. She became a symbol of hope and integrity, demonstrating that age is no barrier to heroism and that the willingness to act in moments of great consequence can leave a lasting impact on the world. Her legacy endures through the generations she inspired, reminding people that courage is not measured by physical strength or years lived, but by the willingness to step forward when it matters most. Anna's story illustrates how one individual, no matter how small or young, can make an extraordinary difference. Her deeds during the Warsaw occupation serve as both a historical record and a moral lesson, showing that bravery often manifests in quiet isolation, calculated actions rather than grandiose gestures. By choosing to act when others hesitated, by risking her own safety to protect a child and countless others, Anna created a ripple effect of compassion, moral courage, and hope that extended far beyond the walls of Warsaw. Today, her story continues to resonate with people around the world. Historians, educators, and storytellers recount her deeds to illustrate the profound impact that a single courageous individual can have, even amidst overwhelming fear and oppression. Anna's experiences during the war teach that moral courage, empathy, and the resolve to protect life are values that transcend age, nationality, and circumstance. Her actions remind us that even in the bleakest times, humanity can prevail through the choices of individuals willing to act with integrity. Anna Stupnica-Bando's life, both during the war and afterward, is a living testament to the enduring power of conscience, bravery, and love for one's fellow human beings. Her legacy inspires countless generations to recognize that heroism is accessible to everyone, not reserved for the strong, the wealthy, or the grown, but for anyone who dares to act in defense of life, justice, and compassion. From a 12-year-old girl navigating the dangerous streets of Warsaw to a lifetime devoted to helping others, Anna's story continues to shine as a beacon of hope, proving that courage, no matter how small, can change the course of history.